Welcome to Two Worlds Apart. I'm Gemma.
And I'm Kaelyn. And today we're going to be talking about head versus heart.
Yeah.
What is head versus heart, Gemma?
Head v heart. So basically, today I feel like this is kind of a weird topic. Today we're going to be talking about when you think you should use your heart and when you think you should use your head, or like when those two things conflict with each other, which do you let guide you more? And it's definitely situational, but today we're just going to be delving into all things that and what we trust, what other people trust, we think, and just stuff like that.
Yeah. And a little bit of disclosure, Gemma might sound a little off because...
Oh yeah, sorry guys. I am sick.
She's
Sorry,
a little
guys.
sick.
It's sad, but we're getting through it. We're living off of cough drops on this fine day. But yeah, excuse my demon voice. But yeah. Moving forward. Kaelyn, what do you think you generally let guide you more? Your head or your heart?
I think I use my heart a lot more. I don't know why I'm laughing.
I agree with that statement.
But yeah, I sometimes lack common sense and just go with what I feel like a lot of the time. For example, like if I'm taking a test or something, I don't know, I'll just like go with what I feel like more. Like when they're like trust your instincts, I'll do that.
That sounds like you, for sure. For sure.
It works some of the times. But I prefer it because I feel like it's not like a better way to live.
It's a riskier and...
It makes life fun.
Yeah.
What about you, Gemma?
You already know what I'm going to say, Kaelyn.
Why don't you tell everyone else?
Okay, so I'm a head-dominant gal. Virgo ass.
Always thinking.
Overthinking.
Overthinking.
Yeah. It's my personality for sure, but I'm like, I just wish I could use my heart a little bit more. But this topic's so interesting to me. Do you give into your feelings or do you let your mind take over your heart? Like, wow, that was actually so poetic. Tell me.
It was. That was deep.
But like, I just feel like your mind tells you what's right or like tries to tell you what's right.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm like, if you follow your heart, that can get you into trouble. Some deep trouble.
You only live once.
YOLO.
Yeah. So why not?
It's definitely interesting navigating that as a young person. Like, I feel like, isn't it like the older you get, the less
like risky,
spontaneous and risque you are? So I guess it's just normal to be young and follow your heart. That can be heartbreaking to follow your heart sometimes. So
I think that's part of life. So
and trying to avoid that is only prolonging your problems. Your escapism.
Oh my gosh, don't even say that.
It's the truth. Tough love for sure.
Anyways, Gemma, do you have any like specific stories that you would like to tell about, well, I guess when you chose to use your head over your heart, or like maybe even if you ever like regret doing that, like...
Kaelyn's bringing me back to the olden days.
Oh my gosh. You're not even that old.
But I have a specific story that actually does come into mind. So, once upon a time, in my high school days, I fell into a scenario where I thought it would be smarter to use my head and try to protect someone's feelings from getting hurt. And that ended up not working in my favor because I was kind of hiding a little bit of the truth from her.
Dun dun dun.
I know. And it was breaking that honesty value, I guess, in a friendship. And at the time, I thought I was doing the right thing because I was like, okay, I know this piece of information, but...
Or like, in the end, she might appreciate it.
Yeah.
Right?
And I was like, okay, this information would hurt her. And theoretically, I don't have to know this information. So no one knows anything. It's fine. And I think I'm doing a favor by using my head. And this is like a logical thing to do.
Yeah.
And then she found out that I knew.
How did she even find out? Like, if
Because the person told her. Isn't that insane?
Oh my gosh. They literally...
The person that was doing the thing told her. I was
they
like...
literally ratted you out.
You mother trucker. And then she got mad at me, which was valid response.
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew something. I was withholding information. And this is, I guess, a scenario where honesty can conflict with head versus heart. Because I think the person that was upset at me for doing this would have followed their heart and told the truth.
Yeah, probably. Because that's what she preferred.
Yeah.
So, like...
But I think I was conflicted because I don't know if I would have preferred the same thing. And I know that that might be like an off statement. And at the time, I think I was also very like, I'd rather not know the truth. Nope, can't
if
talk.
If it was going to hurt you.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd prefer to know the truth.
You would rather not know the truth if it was going to hurt you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But do you think that, like, completely destroyed your friendship?
Oh, no,
or, like...
absolutely not. It was simply a bump in the road. But
okay.
But I remember being like, ah. And it wasn't like an argument where I was like, oh, there's one right answer. I was like, oh. Yeah. Even though maybe I was being a bad friend at the time. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I'd prefer now.
No, but that's like...
Maybe I've changed.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
I don't know. I know you. I know what you would prefer.
What would I prefer, Gemma?
You would prefer the truth.
Yeah. I really would. I'm all about, like, open communication.
Even if the truth would, like, break the person?
Yeah. Because, like, I'd rather know. I like knowing everything and then acting on that rather than only knowing half of the things. But it is completely, like, situational. Like, and it's also hard to put yourself in the position to, like, tell someone the truth when, like, you do know it's going to hurt them, because then it's like, well, I don't want to be the one to hurt them. Especially since you said, like, you weren't theoretically supposed to know. So it's like, it wasn't your job in a way. But then there's also, like, that courtesy.
I think, you know what happened, though? I think she just felt betrayed that, like...
Yeah.
I feel like a terrible friend. Well, this is very old. Then I felt super bad, like... Yeah. Because someone put trust in you, like, your bestie's supposed to tell you everything. So I get that. I get the hurt. But that's just a case of scenario of head over heart, in which case head looks really bad, so... Definitely more vulnerable to follow your heart.
It is... But I like it. I'm just kidding.
But she perseveres anyways.
Yeah. So maybe it's not like, I don't think anyone's ever completely head versus heart. Like, you know, it's more of like a 75 to 25%. Are you saying you're like 100% head and 0% heart? I mean, there's no way.
See, I'm conflicted now because I don't know if I like that quality about myself. I feel like I think too much.
Yeah.
But
you do.
Okay.
Calling you out. But there are times where, like, you do use your heart. Like when you decide to go out instead of, like, staying home and, like, doing work, isn't that technically, like, choosing your heart over your head?
Yeah. And sometimes it's like you're not in control of it, really. It's just like you know.
And it just happens.
It just happens. It's just a part of your personality and who you are. Yeah.
And then, like, the only time you'll know is, like, when you reflect and you actually think about it, and then you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I agree. It's
like
crazy.
right now.
Like right now on the podcast, 2 worlds apart.
Think about it, people.
A topic of conversation to think about. Yeah, it's crazy. But, and it's also crazy to me because I feel like society always wants you to use your head. Everyone always wants you to use your head. But it's only human to use your heart at the end of the day.
Oh my gosh, you need to stop speaking in poetry.
Go back to when I wanted to be an English major.
Wait, really?
Maybe in a different universe.
Oh, I did not know that.
No, yeah. I think... No, I was young, though. I was like 14. I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh.
But... TB.
Going back to, like, the society thing. Like, yeah. Society does, like, want you to use your head a lot more. Probably just because it's more, like... practical in a way.
Yeah, and I think it's like trying to save you from like making mistakes. But
yeah, but like humans
have to make mistakes in
order
to like find yourself
and to like learn and grow and like all of that stuff. But yeah, using your heart's very, very important too. So yeah. I think it's all about balance, and again, oh my gosh, it's so situational. Like, I can't get over that.
Can you think of like a scenario where in your life maybe where like using your heart was like the right decision or like vice versa? Have you thought of anything?
No. I can't think of. Have you?
Yes. Okay, I'm saving the day right now because I thought of something.
Thank you.
Okay, so I know when following my heart was the right decision.
Ooh.
Choosing a college.
Oh. Ooh.
Because this is crazy. So to the podcast audience, when I was applying to college, I applied as different majors for different schools.
I remember
And
that.
I got into actually most of my tops for the different majors. And so at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I can go to this school close to home and get a psychology degree and be satisfied. Or I can go out of state, pursue a degree where the success rate is like negative 1,000. Not really, but small.
But like, yeah.
The career success rate. I was struggling deciding, but at the end of the day, I follow my heart and I chose the school.
my heart.
I follow my heart. I followed my heart and chose the school that I could pursue my passion at, and even if it was going to be difficult to like be successful in that, it was like at the end of the day what I love to do, and it made my heart happy.
And it's been like 3 years, and you're
And it's
still
been
happy.
3 years, and I couldn't imagine my life any other way. So that's my college advice to you, Kaelyn, even though you have like a year left.
And like, well, like for you, it turned out good because now you're like double majoring in the other.
Yeah, and I'm still doing psychology at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So you're on like on the path for like both now. So it's like it all worked out. Follow your heart, people. Just kidding.
Especially like when you're young and like trying to find a path. I feel like you always have to follow your heart. Like, of course, be prepared to struggle and have to work super hard if you do that. But isn't like the goal of life like happiness for most people?
Exactly.
So
That's like, I don't know. Some people believe like success is like determined by how much money you have and stuff like that. But like even like from when I was little, I've always determined success as like just like being happy in life, like because I feel like that's the most important thing.
I agree.
But like you shouldn't just like blindly follow your heart in the way that you were like thinking your options, like you were considering both, but then you decided to go with one. But that includes like, honestly, I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
I get what you mean.
Okay, great.
What a crazy topic.
Yeah.
Should we move on to relationships?
Relationships.
The worst.
Oh my gosh, Gemma.
Okay, so head versus heart in a romantic setting.
Yes.
Gosh. TBH reminds me of like Sense and Sensibility.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like I need to read it right now. Like, even though I have no time
Open
at
the
all.
book, open it right now.
I need to reread it now.
Read it.
But, okay, well, I guess if you haven't read...
That's following your
If
heart.
any of the podcast audience hasn't read Sense and Sensibility, I guess it focuses on like the love of two young women and like two different approaches to love, which is obviously by the title, Sense, which is like good, intelligent judgment, and then Sensibility, which is like, I guess when your feelings get in the way of your good, intelligent judgment.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. Maybe I'll add it to my to read list.
Yes, your reading
of
list.
20 books. Like,
Speaking of, have you read any books since our last check-in, Kaelyn?
oh, we don't talk about that. Continue.
Kaelyn, we're holding ourselves accountable in 2023.
It's February.
That's okay. I'm still in the same book that I was reading.
Oh my gosh. Wait, speaking of you guys, my permit expired.
Oh my god, Kaelyn. Ridiculous.
Whoops. It expired.
Kaelyn, then now you have to start over.
No, I mean, I just have to retake my permit test.
Bruh, that was stressful for me. I hated the permit test.
I located it too.
I was next to this woman, and then this man started yelling at her, and she started crying.
Did she fail?
I have no idea, but it's because this guy was yelling at her, and I think she only spoke Spanish.
Oh my gosh, that's actually really
And
sad.
I was like, stop yelling.
You're like, I'm trying to take my test.
I know. Literally, I was trying to take my test. Anyways.
Anyways.
Sense and sensibility, guys. Hiding your low-key, this was me in that one scenario that I was talking about. Hiding your true feelings to protect others, because that makes sense, versus like another person being like overwhelmed with sensibility.
Yeah.
But sense and sensibility is crazy. And you think a relationship's going to last, and then it's like tragically torn apart, which is life.
And it's like, it also comes into account like the way the other person thinks. Because like if you guys don't agree at some parts, then obviously there's some things that are going to go wrong because you guys are going to disagree in a lot of different like scenarios on whether you should do this or that and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's also like you have to accept that people don't think the same as you.
Yeah.
Which I guess is hard for some people, but I don't even know if there's like a right way or a wrong way.
That's why relationships are so hard. You never truly know the way the other person thinks.
And it's like you could be so sure, and then boom, like something crazy happens.
Yeah, like there's so many things where they're like 10 years like down the road, like they thought everything was okay, and then like what? And then something happens, and it's like, oh.
Tough love, head versus heart.
But yeah, that's why they have to really balance.
Yeah, a balance. Like in a relationship, I guess I feel like you just have to use your heart more, but
yeah, because that's
like
what
me thinking.
A relationship.
Because sometimes I feel like your mind can get in the way of like
you deciding to like. I mean, in the first place, like, oh, that's like a little conflictual. Like some people think that like getting into a relationship isn't good. Like my mom has always pushed out on me like, don't start like going into a relationship until like you're like settled with everything, like a house and a job and like your career and everything. That's like a lot of heart. But then like I'm young and I want to do things. Like I'm not.
She says, I'm taking a risk.
Yeah, exactly. And it is a risk. But I feel like that's, I don't know, that's more important for me. To like look back and like at least have some memories because you only live once.
Sense and sensibility. What's the most important word in the title? And.
I get it. Because you need both.
You need both.
You really do.
Because an untamed heart is reckless and crazy and can be scary and all that stuff. But like only using your head and never following your heart.
That's such a sad life.
That's a life unlived. Period.
It is. You're literally just surviving. You're not even living.
But it's not a very fine line.
Yeah, it's really not. There's a lot of gray area.
I think my lesson learned from this podcast is I need to trust my heart a little more.
Yeah, you should.
I feel like I've gotten better over the years, but
yeah,
okay, well.
No, like I feel
Kaelyn
like...
would beg to differ, but
No, it's not about that. No. I feel like you kind of fluctuated. Like I feel like when you were like younger, you used your heart more, and then you started using your head a little bit more, and then now you're trying to lean back towards moving your heart. I don't know. That's just what I think.
balance, baby. What about you, Kaelyn? Any lessons learned from today's pod?
I'm gonna keep being myself.
Yes! Slay!
Okay, that was really fun.
That was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe in the comments of our latest Instagram post on @2worldsapart podcast, you can tell us which you use more. Many mistakes can be made with this topic of conversation and whether to use your head versus heart. But mistakes are meant to be made, and TBH, they're kind of inevitable. So I feel like you just have to make the best decision you can.
So if you want like any advice, feel free to DM us.
Oh my God, that was an intimate moment, Kaelyn.
Oh, sorry.
You ruined it. Just kidding,
sorry.
it's fine. No, I'm just kidding.
That's me, yeah. Period.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Thanks for listening to this episode on
Thanks, guys.
head versus heart. Anything else to add, Kaelyn?
follow your heart, guys. Don't listen to Gemma and follow your. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. No,
Guys,
just really.
Both are valuable.
Balance.
I think, okay,
And
you said 75 versus 25. I think it's 50-50.
For you, maybe.
Debatable. Debate in the comments.
Yeah, that is
Just
debatable. I'm not a 50-50 type of person. I think I lack too much common sense for that.
So maybe you need a little more head, Kaelyn.
No, I'm actually really happy with the way I am right now.
I accept you for that
Thanks,
answer.
Gemma. We love
You're
Gemma.
welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it so much.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed something and learned something, and
I just had a good time while we controversially
yeah.
discussed head versus heart.
Have a good day, night, afternoon, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.